Oh no.
Missing.
Greg?
Missing.
I thought this was a duet.
Missing.
Oh, so you're just gonna sing all the parts? Those are not the right sounds.
Missing.
Can you hear me?
Missing. Oh, missing.
Bonk.
Welcome to Miss Thing. I'm Greg.
And I'm Tim. And this is a podcast that celebrates and appreciates the Miss Things of the past, present, and future.
Yeah, in every episode, we take a key moment from our Miss Thing's storied career and do what you and I are most skilled at, which is make it all about us.
Why are you laughing, giggling over there?
I don't know. We're just, I think we're a little on one.
Yeah. Okay, this is something that crossed my mind over this past week. Like, this is so dumb, but I do want to know, do you have a trick for how to light a match? Like, use a match and actually strike it and have it be on fire.
Well, I guess it depends on sand strip that I'm using.
Literally, in my life, Scout's honor.
You've never been able to light a match?
Never been able to do it. And the amount of matchsticks that I have broken.
It's not even a matter of, like, not being able to light a fire. You quite literally can't light a match.
I can't light a match. Well, and then, like, they're like, no, you have to, like, hold the two sides down of the matchbox thing.
Oh, well, see, it really depends on the quality of, because if you're doing it from, like, a matchbook, you have to have a high quality matchbook with some, like, hard paper.
I've had flimsy. I've had hard. I've had you name it, and then they're like, you're not doing it hard enough. You're doing it too soft. And then I'm like, then I'll do it soft. Nothing happens. Then I do it hard. I break it. I try it again and again. It doesn't work.
Well, it depends on where you're getting your matches.
But I just feel like it'd be so sexy to do, and I can't do it, and it actually really annoys me.
That is shocking. I do see, like, the sex appeal of lighting a match.
Yeah.
You know, like, seeing like the old dames do it on screen to, like, light their cigarettes. Yeah. But we also know how you are with the cigarettes. So
I would be terrible.
Yeah,
exactly.
like the time
Everything
that you
about it.
coughed in Lady Gaga's face.
Yes.
No, I can see that being something that you're very, like, drawn to being able to do. I think the key is not thinking about it too hard.
Okay, and I tried that as well.
It's all feel. I know,
like, and that's the most annoying sort of construction you could ever get in your life.
Totally.
It's just like feel.
I do know someone, we have a mutual friend who has, that, like, sandpaper that, like, comes with a matchbox or, like, matchbook. He has it attached to the side of his toilet and has strong matches. Yeah. Because I do love a match in the bathroom, but the problem with using a match in the bathroom is that the bathroom is notoriously a wet place. And if a match even has a hint of moisture on it, good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck.
And
may the odds be ever in your favor.
I just get angry when I see that in the bathroom because I just know I won't be able to do it. So I'm like, if this is what you want me to do, I'm not going to be able to do it. Like, this is actually stopping me from, like, from the duty that you want me to do.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, that's why, and this is a perfect segue, that's why this episode of Miss Thing Podcast is brought to you by Poo-Pourri. For the people who who aren't able to light matches, especially in the bathroom, use Poo-Pourri.
Except for please sponsor us. Please sponsor us. And also, of all of them, Poo-Pourri is the best, but I don't believe in any those. We've already talked about it here on the pod. None of those work.
No.
It's the best, but it's also like, we know what you did. Just
we know what you did last summer for sure. Yeah. But it's like so much more violent than we know what you did last summer ever could be. We know what you last summer did.
That's our movie. Yeah.
Well, it's so, because it's like, we all got used to, like, we thought that Lysol was an acceptable thing for a minute. And we all collectively agreed pretty quickly that it wasn't. It was unacceptable. It trails on your clothes. Yeah. The thing is, then it's like, oh, well, Poo-Pourri, put a drop in there, spray it in the toilet, it covers.
This is another question.
Everything. What?
Okay, and not to fully cut you off, but I've always wondered this. Okay, if you do a drop of Poo-Pourri, and then you're supposed to also afterwards, like,
trigger
flush.
Warning,
I know, but if you're supposed, then if you, like, flush, because you're supposed to do, like, courtesy flushes, then, Like,
does it reset?
Does that just reset the whole? Like, I'm saying, like, but does it still work, or it's like you have to do another drop while you're still in the midst?
That's the thing, because it gives you the illusion that it's like doing a cover.
Yeah.
Which is like, what are you using, by the way?
Yeah.
Putting in like the water supply.
Yeah.
But no, I always wonder that myself. Yeah. But then I think we've all come to terms with the realization that Poo-Pourri is just Lysol.
Yeah. But
just like water-based Lysol.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I think, well, it's supposed to prevent courtesy flush, but what it doesn't do, it's like it takes care of everything under the water. Is that
their tagline? It should be.
What did I even say?
It prevents the courtesy flush. Okay, Poo-Pourri. We're literally, come on.
We're doing your job for you.
But I think after all of that.
Yeah, I think it's time for Dod Mom Sauce, a.k.a. Doll of the Day, Mother of the Moment, Sister of the Second. Our first
and most famous
segment where we take a person, place, or thing that we are currently super obsessed with.
Yes.
Yeah, and I'm going to go first.
I was just about to say please.
Oh, good. Because I can't keep this in anymore. Okay. I have started watching the show of the summer.
I'm so upset because I haven't done it yet. Okay.
Couples Therapy on Showtime. This show, I am addicted. I am addicted to everything about it. First of all, let's start with the best quality this show has. It's 30 minutes long.
Oh, I thought you were going to say her, but yes.
Oh, no. Not even getting into Orna. Orna is my queen.
Orna, O-R-N-A?
I think so.
Okay. I'm hoping there's 2 O's, but okay.
yeah. I'm hoping there's like maybe an L at the beginning, Lorna, but like it's silent.
Definitely some dots above something.
No, Orna is... No, I'm saying Lorna. No, Orna is the most fierce... woman I've ever seen. Like, I want to be her. I would be willing to spend millions of dollars just to go sit in her office and like convince her to like me. She's the strongest heroine on television.
How much do you think a session with her costs?
Well,
do they say that?
I go through this in my brain because she has the best job there is. So she is a couples therapist.
Okay.
She has a TV show. Where she has a casting department that goes ahead and finds her the most interesting people to come into her office to be on her TV show. Like, so she gets to be paid to be on TV. Be so cool and be loved by everyone who watches. C, like, have the most interesting cases. Like, she's someone that like doesn't have to deal with boring couples.
No, but are some of the, because I've thought about this sometimes when you're like full of yourself and you're like, I could be a therapist or whatever, and then you'll be like, wait, like, but then sometimes you would be like, I have 6 back-to-back like crazy cases that are so exhausting that I'm like, I would want like to sprinkle in like, you know, regular folks. Right. You know what I mean? To like, as a palate cleanse.
Oh,
and it seems like, I've never watched the show, but I imagine that like every case is, you know.
No, there's some, what's so cool about it is that there are some like total run-of-the-mill episodes. Like, basically it's broken up. There's 4 couples, at least I watched the last season. Okay. So there's 4 couples that are like the center of it. And we basically like visit them for like 6 minutes.
Wait, so each season is like the same 4 couples that they keep rotating, or each episode?
It's a season, so you're like following. They do like they split the seasons in 2, so like they have like a batch in the first half of the season, a batch in the second half of the season. So like you visit the 4 couples, like, and you check in on them every week, and sometimes they have like just regular sessions. Another thing about Orna is that she is like the center of the show. It's all about her. But what I love is that like she's pulling like an Isabella Rossellini in Conclave, where she's like she like doesn't have to talk at all. It's really like everyone else does all the talking, and then you just like look at her and she's like, She's like kind of just like looking at them. Yeah. And I love, she's also so us in the sense that like even when she does talk, she like doesn't finish her sentences. So she'll be like, someone like says something and then she's like, and you? She does a lot.
But that feels so therapist, which is like that they're like, I want you to finish the sentence.
Exactly. But then sometimes
and
I'm
that's
like,
what you and I do.
yeah, it's like I'd rather you finish my sentence. Well, even when we don't want the other two, the other person does it. Yeah, but also sometimes, which I love for TV, like sometimes she'll be like, I love when she gets like a little annoyed, like someone's being annoying in the session. She'll be like, "Whoa, hey, oh." You're like, I want to hear from them. Like she's just so dismissive in this way that like really works.
That's the trailers I've seen her do that, and I'm like, oh, I have to see what she's like in a session.
It's so good. You have to watch it. But I've also been thinking, like, what if I feel like we should go on. It's like a couples therapy.
Well, then she for sure wouldn't get a word in edgewise. She would just be like silent the whole time.
Of course. Well, Orna wouldn't know what to do with us. She can do anything with anyone, but I think she's met her match with us.
The reason why I haven't watched, I'm dying to, but that I'm just like so nervous that I will see myself up there on the screen, where I'm just like, and I feel like in every couple, like it will be, like the straightest couple of all time. And I'm like, that's me.
Well, there's a little bit of that, but I think that's what makes the show good. So good. There's one part, the gay couple, she goes, they go, do you know this? There's this bar called the Eagle. It's a gay bar. She goes, yeah, I know the Eagle, of course. Who doesn't? This bitch,
I have to watch.
I need to hang out with her.
Yeah.
Anyways, enough about me, enough about Orna. She's a future Miss Thing candidate,
Absolutely.
Big time.
I know I'm going to get into it,
Yeah, and we'll have her on the podcast. But Tim, what's your Dog Mom sauce?
Okay, there's a new trend on gay Twitter.
Oh, here we go. I can't get enough. You love gay Twitter.
And this one is the most nonsensical yet, which is why I'm the most obsessed with it.
Okay.
Okay, have you heard of, it's like baby trend, but of course it's getting fed to me. Which is, and I was like seeing it, I was like, I don't understand what is the origin. I'm still not entirely sure what the origin is.
We never really are.
But I do think I've actually sleuthed it out myself.
Okay.
And there's this trend where on like you take a whatever pop star or whatever woman you're obsessed with, and whatever outfit that you think is their like hottest, sleekest, look
that they've worn, or are we share closeting it?
No, what they've worn. So it's like peak whatever your favorite like music video outfit of Katy Perry or Lady Gaga or Marina and the Diamonds.
Okay.
So the trend is, I can't believe that she's wearing the same outfit that her mom wore back in the 70s when she caught her dad cheating on her. That crazy sentence is then put onto like any pop star, which is like Lady Gaga in whatever music video that you're obsessed with,
or the meat dress.
Exactly.
The meat dress.
It's like, and then I was like, where is this coming from? This is the craziest sentence I've ever heard.
That is psychotic.
And then it literally is from an Addison Rae music video that just dropped, like maybe this time, I think is the song.
Okay.
Have you heard of I feel like Addison Rae.
I know. I haven't seen the video.
Okay. Well, there's this, she's wearing like, she's in New York City and she's wearing like ballet flats and like some dress. And then some random gay just like literally wrote that. And it was like, everyone was like, wait, is this true? And then it was like very quickly like, no, this person is just making this up. Like, this is crazy.
Oh my God.
Addison Rae's mom, I mean, has to be born in like that's
what I was gonna say. Was her mom even alive
in the 70s?
Was her grandmother alive in the 70s?
And so then people were just like, this is crazy. Who is writing this statement? And so then obviously gays have just like taken that on and are now putting it on whatever. And I'm obsessed.
This last week of June, like I think we've really come to understand that like the utter gay brain rot that has permeated the internet. And what I'm just so proud, actually. This is like, as June comes to a close, I am so proud of our community for exposing themselves as the pure blown idiots as they are. But like also so genius for being like, that's hilarious.
Well, my favorite part about this trend is that like it's such a specific thing that's almost believable. That then every time I see it, you'll look in the comments, and this is what I love. People will be like, wait, like, Marina's mom cheated on her dad, and now she's wearing that outfit in this video? Or it'll be like, wait, like, Lady Gaga's mom cheated in the meat dress? Well, like, and you, like, for a second, like, I have to know more, and then you do it, and then someone's just, like, you just see the people be like, no, this is a trend, no, this is not true.
Well, it gets you to stop and think.
Yeah.
And that's what also the LGBTQs are here for. In this moment, in time where everything's so disposable, you know, just swipe, left, right, up. You're just swiping.
Yeah.
The idea is to get you to stop and really think about what's happening there. And it just has enough elements to make you go, huh?
Wait, and it's also so specific that you're like, this can't be a lie.
And it's also and it's so generational. You're like, wow, they've been dealing with this for so long. Like, maybe they'll break the cycle.
Well, it's also because whatever the pop girl is wearing is like so iconic that you're like, whoa, that's her mom's?
It's like Britney in the denim suit.
Truly, yeah. In like the Oops, I Did It Again, like pink latex or something, seeing Lynn Spears.
I just love the idea of like Britney and Justin in the denim.
Yes.
And that outfit belonged to both of their parents.
Absolutely.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. This is the first I'm hearing of that. You're being fed a bunch of things that I'm currently not being fed.
I don't know what I'm being fed, but I think it's like the algorithm. If you stop to like, and then you're like looking at every comment, then, you know, you get a million more. Anyways, I think it's time for a break.
Definitely. Yeah. We're back, and it's time for our Miss Thing of the Week.
This true, like, icon with it at such a young age.
Oh my gosh. A little older than us.
Yeah, exactly.
Slightly older than us. Took the world by storm. The word, I don't throw this word around a lot. Absolute genius.
I literally was about to say the same thing, and I like didn't want to because it feels so overdone, but it's just like this, the way that she utilizes her lyrics.
Yeah.
Like the way that she just like paints a picture, it really is, she makes it look easy. And I also kind of feel like in a weird way, we all like take ownership of her because she came out at such a young age. And like, I can't even imagine if you were from New Zealand, but like just that like, it's something where you're kind of like, you want to protect her because it was like, oh, she was like had never been on a plane before famously, you know, and then she blew up and like we all fell in love with her with that first album. We should just get right into it.
Yes. Our Miss Thing of the Week is Lorde.
I mean,
there's too much to talk about. We've waited. I mean, we've wanted to do Lorde for so long.
Her new album, Virgin, is coming out or is already out
at time of
release.
Yeah, we haven't heard it yet, so we can't talk about it. But I'm sure we'll be talking about it a lot over the summer. Every Lorde album is a total event.
Yeah.
But going back, to the New Zealand thing, it's like I think we all are protective of her, but it was just like where did she come from? It is. She's like speaks to the youth experience in a way that I don't think many artists ever really have before, but also like there is a deep, like wise intelligence to the lyrics that you're a little like, are you 1,000 years old?
It's also like everything about the way she speaks and the way that she thinks is so like every interview is so LOL in the best way where she's like, she'll like say something that you're like, what? But also, is that the most profound thing I've ever heard?
Right.
And also for me, Melodrama is a perfect album.
I completely agree with you.
And to follow, like to have, you know, Pure Heroine come out.
Right.
And be like, and that's obviously just like one of the best debut singles of all time. But then also like that album itself is so fucking good. And to follow it up with Melodrama is insane.
And also, I mean, I think I agree, by the way. I think they're both perfect pop albums. To watch the growth and the difference in sound between the two, Melodrama came out and it was just so pumped up because you could just feel the industry was behind her. But to follow up like a first album, there was no sophomore slump. It was only just, a continued like rocket ship up. She's like a galactic talent. And then also to be able to like experiment on her third album, which I think at first it wasn't totally received in a way. I think that was like unanimous praise, but she did something new and something interesting and had this like idea of like California and it's almost culty, but it had like a point of view.
Totally.
And I think they're now like looking back at Solar Power too. I think people have come around to it, the people that weren't there to begin with.
When I was on Fire Island last summer, that album was the album that was being played like at everyone's pool party.
Interesting.
And so it's such a gay thing to be like, this was actually very misunderstood, you know what I mean? And wanting to like reclaim it, but it was. And it's also just like this, and I can already tell, like, you can already feel the think pieces for Virgin coming, where it's like, it's not this, but it's this, or like, is this like gonna be better than the last three or whatever? And it's still just like, she is that girl where people can't help but write a think piece about her.
Well, it does, because she makes you think.
Yeah.
I mean, riddle us that.
Yeah. What is your favorite Lorde song?
Okay. I want to actually take that question and I want to flip that a little bit further. I want to ask you what your favorite song is on all three of Lorde's albums.
Okay, that's literally impossible.
Yeah. I don't think it's impossible.
Okay, well, I feel like it would be Ribs for Pure Heroine.
Okay.
And then for Melodrama, literally impossible to say, but I would say Loveless / Hard Feelings and The Louvre. Those two I love them so much.
Yeah, you do love referencing the Louvre a lot too, like in real life. So I can totally see why that would be your favorite. And then
for Solar Power, I would say, again, I don't know that album as well as the others, but probably the what's the one where it's like kind of feels like you're at it's like you know what I mean? It's like the third single.
Is it Mood Ring?
Mood Ring.
That's my favorite on that album too. Okay.
I think I actually did a really good impression by just doing that.
I was hoping I didn't want to say it because I didn't want you to steal my song.
Yeah.
So for me.
And what was that for the latest one? Because I'm obsessed of the 3 singles. Okay.
Oh, sure. Okay. I'm not going there yet because I want to wait for the whole album. Pure Heroine, Buzzcut Season. Definitely.
Yes.
Followed closely by, I have 2.
Yeah.
Followed closely by Tennis Court. Melodrama, easy. Sober.
Yeah.
Sober by far.
Yeah.
I also like Homemade Dynamite. I mean, that's a great album. But, and then Solar Power, Mood Ring.
Yeah.
I also love The Path. Yeah. I think it's a great album opener.
Yeah.
And it's like really sets the scene. And I also love Stoned at the Nail Salon.
I really like Stoned, and I also feel like Buzzcut is my second favorite off of. It's so hard with the first one too, where I was like, depending on my mood, I could have said Buzzcut.
Buzzcut Season is my favorite Lorde song, period.
Yeah.
Without question. Like I've just I knew the moment I heard it that there was magic happening. Yeah. Like I knew listening to that album that there was magic happening, but the second I heard Buzzcut Season, I was like, oh.
She feels like because she was just like off in New Zealand, she was untouched in a way that the other pop stars were just clearly influenced or like working with the same people. So that first album felt so wholly original because it wasn't like, sure, she might have been influenced, but it also just felt so like from a different planet.
Right.
And that's her. She's literally like alien in the best way, where you're just like, where did you come from? You are a supernova.
She's a galactic talent.
Yeah.
She couldn't
Yeah.
not be discovered if she tried.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, it's talent that's so undeniable and so original. I completely agree.
Sober is also, you're making me want to change my, it's so,
I know.
it's so, I just did first thought, but then I'm like, okay, literally all of yours are also all of my favorite too.
Well, they're all, I mean, name someone with more bangers.
Yeah.
It's like every Lorde album is an event.
And I'm excited because you just know that we're going to have like 2 crazy deep cut bangers off of Virgin.
And we're in for such a treat. Like, I actually feel so excited right now for Friday to happen.
And I love
for
that
the
she does like June releases. It's so summer. You know what I mean?
She knows she's gonna.
It's winter for her, but it's summer for us.
Totally. Yeah, wherever she's from.
Okay, but it's about damn time to make it about us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Greg, how do you make Lorde all about yourself?
Lorde really is someone that I associate with a very specific season.
Yeah.
So I've talked about in the past, like when I saw Mariah Carey at in Central Park, where she ended up singing like 4 songs, Now to Be Dazzled Cast on.
Yeah.
And that was like the last night I remember, like, really remember being in New York, like someone who lives in New York, before I left. But I associate Lorde with me arriving in Los Angeles.
Totally, I could see that.
And like starting my career as a superstar.
Yeah.
You know?
Intergalactic talent arrived to LA.
Exactly. This fellow 16-year-old.
Yeah, exactly.
Never been on a plane.
Yeah, just got your license.
Yeah, exactly. So I moved sort of at the end of summer. I came to LA without a job. You know, I knew that I was going to move here, but I sort of had to like come here, land, get set up, get a job, get a car.
Yeah.
And then, you know, my now husband, my boyfriend at the time, would consider moving out.
Yeah.
Like, it was kind of a huge leap of faith for me to
Actually is crazy now that I think about that. Like, I met you during that time, but I didn't even realize that. Yeah.
Yes. No, it was a really big, scary move because, like, nothing was promised.
Yeah.
But the summer before, like, that last summer in New York, Royals was, like, really popping off in a big way. And, you know me, I kind of was, like, always, like, associating myself with new music, too. Even though that was, like, becoming a big song. But... you know, eventually I did get a job. I met you. I had just started at CBS, and that was he was, as promised, was going to move cross country. So we had to give up our place in New York and like move into a place here. And we had just signed a lease, and I needed to go back to New York to like pack up the rest of my stuff, to like get it on a truck to get it out here. And before, like maybe like 2 weeks before I was going out, like I was on Facebook back when it was like a normal thing to be on. And one of my friends posted, my friends back in New York was like, I have 2 tickets to Lorde. I'm not going to be in town. I can't make it. Like, does anyone want them? So I was immediately like, oh, I'm going to be in town. Like, I'll take them. And so I got those tickets, and that was like something that we were going to do, you know, and like my last sort of like celebratory weekend there, like in the midst of packing and everything. And the album had not come out yet. Pure Heroine had not come out yet. So all I really knew was Royals. And I was like, well, if anything, like that'll at least be fun. So the week that concert was the week the album came out.
Wow.
And remember when albums used to come out on Tuesday?
Yeah.
By the way, record companies, what happened to releasing music on Tuesdays?
They really should. Because I think they do it like they want you to have it on a Friday so you have it for the weekend, but it's like, I'm busy on Friday. Tuesday, I want something to look forward to, like Miss Thing, the podcast.
Exactly. It did pave the way. Like, we know, like Tuesday release, how essential that is to get you through the week.
It was the day that Buffy was on WB too. Tuesdays are the best day. I'm sorry.
I agree.
Yeah.
For a new release.
Release all of the good stuff on Tuesdays.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know who I blame for Friday music releases?
Beyonce.
Yep, because
Changed the game.
Shortly after I arrived in LA, that Beyonce album came out on that Friday, and that changed everything.
Yeah.
But Lorde came out on Tuesday. Pure Heroine came out on Tuesday, and I remember I was like, "Well, I'm going to see her this weekend. Like, let me listen now." And I remember being at the gym. I was staying with my friend in Studio City, being at this like weird LA apartment gym.
Yeah.
Like, I remember the light. I remember what equipment I was on when I pressed play on this album.
Yeah.
And it started with Tennis Court. And I went, oh my God.
Yeah.
This is a masterpiece.
So good.
I remember where I was.
Yeah.
There are so few times and few moments in your life that like you remember when you're like hearing or witnessing something like so original. And then Tennis Court, amazing start to an album. And then the album just kept going and like banger after banger after banger. And I was like, oh, this is so new, so fresh, so different. And I'm going to see her this weekend.
That's so exciting.
It was so exciting. Yeah. Saw her first show in New York.
Whoa. Yeah.
Guess how much the tickets were?
I don't even want to know. Like $50.
25. What Ticketmaster has done,
I know.
It's criminal.
It's
so crazy. But yeah, I mean, amazing show. You could feel, because the album just came out, like the room was electric, buzzing. It was so interesting to see Lorde at the beginning. She was fully wearing, listen, Lorde is not beating the Nosferatu allegations.
Oh yeah, she was like a goth princess at first.
She was fully wearing like a black robe, shapeless black robe. Hair completely covering her face. But you could see like she was doing the Nosferatu moves, like the hands, and she was and you couldn't, because she was so covered that you could just see like the jutting. But it was crazy to see like the start of that.
She needs to do like a Halloween-esque album, you know?
Totally.
Like she definitely needs like an October release. She needs her own mayhem. Like it's like built in her DNA. She's obviously been in like the lighter space.
Well, I think she's spending most of her career like trying to convince us that she's not a vampire.
Yeah.
So listen, I mean, like try to beat those Nosferatu allegations. From the middle of nowhere. Strange accent.
Yes.
Obsessed with teeth.
Pale.
So pale.
Yeah.
That's why I think Solar Power was kind of like, I actually can go out in the sun, but it's all like a facade.
Yeah.
Lyrics like
Virgin, she died before she could ever, consummate.
Right.
Wow.
Always like communicating through dreams.
Yeah.
Every song she's talking about dreams.
We also need to talk about what she's famous. I feel like she's in my eyes, at least, she's the one who popularized what a synesthesia, the like whole like she sees colors, songs as colors. Do you remember that? And so she was like green, like Melodrama was green.
Oh my God, her Bram Stoker's ass.
I love it. I don't know what color the first album was, but I know that my favorite thing. Do you know what the color is for this album?
Blue.
You would think clear.
Clear.
Is there a better answer from Lorde? What is the color for Virgin? Clear. Transparent. Yeah.
That means so much to me.
Same.
Yeah, I'm obsessed. Anyways.
Yes.
How do we make Lorde all about you?
Well, this is one of my favorite things, which is telling a story that happened to me this week.
Yeah, that I'm not allowed to hear about until now. So everyone brace yourself. You're hearing it with me for the first time. It also
works perfectly.
Yeah.
So when I think of Lorde,
okay.
I think of one of her greats. I think of Supercut.
Oh. Uh-huh.
And you know at least a little bit about what happened to me this week.
There's a Supercut involved.
And so this takes me back to last Thursday.
Uh-huh.
And I finished up work. It was late. I wanted to get a little workout in.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go for just a little run around the neighborhood.
Sure. She's in her running era.
I'm in my running era. And so I was like, I'm just going to do a little run. I do this run. I'm slowly winding down about like half a mile from my apartment.
Yeah.
And then she's also kind of in her, her 30s era. So at a certain point, these knees don't always work the way that they're supposed to.
Yeah, they're a little creaky, a little wobbly.
And so they start to wobble wibble,
Sure.
And so at a certain point, I'm like, oh wait, I think I'm losing my balance. I think I'm starting to trip. So I do what any sane person would do, which is I reach for something to steady myself so that I don't, in fact, trip.
In the midst of a run.
And what I reach, there is a fence to my right. And so I'm like, I'll just grab the fence for a quick second. So I reach my hand down as quick as possible to steady myself. And at the top of this fence was a spear. And so I literally just impaled the palm of my hand on this spear. And it happened so quickly that I was like, I didn't trip. That's funny. And then I was like, ouch, that kind of hurt. But then I was like, well, at least I didn't trip. So I literally didn't break. I just kept running. And then I was like, ooh, that's stinging. I looked at my hand covered in blood. And then I see it starting to pool. It's also nighttime because I had stopped. I did this after my work.
And then your blood is really flowing. You've been running.
Exactly. And it's at the end of the run too. And so then I'm like, I like run for 10 more feet and I was like, oh my God. And then I stop. And then now both of my hands covered in blood. It's like gushing out. I have a huge pool in both of my hands. It's nighttime. God. So I just want everyone to picture this. It's dark. But I also, as everyone knows, I basically live in Times Square. It's like the busiest streets outside of my apartment.
You're the center of Tokyo.
Yeah, there's a lot of lights going on, a lot of action. And so then I'm like looking around and I'm like, I famously struggle with asking for help. And there couldn't be more apparent in this moment, which is now I have two hands filled with blood.
Right.
And I'm like, okay. And then I'm like seeing the blood and getting like faint from all the blood.
Your skin going completely pale.
And I'm like, should I ask someone for help? But then I was like, is that terrifying to come up to someone and just be like, hi, sorry, I have a handful of blood. Like, can you, I don't know, give me a napkin? I didn't know what to do. Like,
open
call
wound
someone.
Bleeding.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And so then, I did what you are not supposed to do, which was like, okay, I'm only like 10 minutes from my apartment. So I'm just going to walk home. So I literally walked the longest 10 minutes of my life.
Blood, by the way, trailing behind
down my hands, like literally, like just a huge. Imagine seeing someone late at night with a huge pool of blood in their hands. Me walking down.
Oh my God!
And so then it's like 10 minutes of me doing this. My hand is throbbing. I'm starting to feel like more and more faint. I'm literally
your
like
pulse. You can like see it. Yeah.
And so I'm literally like, okay, like I'm probably like dying here, And so then I'm like, I don't know what to do. And then I finally make it to my apartment. I get in. It's like, I'm starting to feel like more and more faint. I look in the mirror. I've never been more pale in my life, which is hard to do. And so then I'm like, okay, like at this point, like something has to be done. I'm not kidding you. I literally like fall to the ground, not like on purpose. Like I didn't like whatever. And then I like literally FaceTime my sister being like, okay, something has to be whatever. FaceTime my sister. And I'm like, okay, Courtney, something major has happened. I don't know if I like need to be amputated. I don't know. I probably need like a bunch of stitches. Like this is really bad. Like I haven't eaten. I haven't drank. I look really bad. Like I don't know what to do. And she's like, oh my God. Okay. Like, and she was like,
you need to like tourniquet your hand.
I was raising my hands. Literally, she turns on the lights because she was like in her bedroom, lights off or whatever. Turns it on. She sees my wound, starts laughing. Starts laughing. In that moment, I'm like, call 911. Like, we need to, I have to start learning what it would be like to live with one hand.
Right.
She starts laughing and
it didn't break through to the other side.
It didn't break through to the other side. And then
which is full-blown emergency. Like, I would actually just leave it there. I'd still be there.
Her response was literally like, I was expecting you to, she was like, call me again when you've bled through 2 full towels.
Oh.
I was like, girl, I didn't realize that there was like a measurement of my pain.
Yeah.
But she was like, the fact that it's like, basically on the way back, it had stopped like pulsing out of my palm. But it was still like whatever. And I was like, well, I've been raising it.
You were raising the roof.
I was raising
all
the
way
roof
down the
with
block.
truly, it was terrifying, so painful. And then I had to like somehow manage to like bandage this up like so haphazardly the next morning. And then I was like, it's a metal fence that I did it, like an old metal fence.
The ricketiest, most rustiest. Yeah.
And so then I was literally like, great, I have tetanus.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember. This is the thing. People are always like, when was your last tetanus shot? And I'm like, I don't remember.
That is the most famous question. And you're like, a few years ago. Like, I don't remember. But it's like, was it 14? It's like, that's a random number.
I've switched doctors so much that I don't trust that my medical records have success. Like, they'll just be like, you have to when you go to the doctor, you have to say, like, when was your last tetanus shot a lot of times. And you're like, I don't know, 2 years ago? Like, and so then
it's always maybe 2 years ago.
And I don't know if I like told the truth like that day. Like I could have just been like, I think it was this, whatever. So like your records might not be factual. So I'm freaking out and I'm like, okay, in the morning I'll like go get a tetanus shot. I call my doctor to see if they even have my records. And then they're like, oh yeah, it says that you got this like 3 years ago. And I'm like, I don't know if I actually did.
Right.
And then they're like, so you don't need it. And then they call me back 10 minutes later and they're like, you should just get it though. Actually, just to be safe.
So no one knows.
No one knows.
No one knows. They especially don't know. That's the thing with tetanus shots. It's like, it's so every time they're like, when was your last tetanus shot? And I was like, if I got it like last week, which I might have done.
Absolutely.
Like, what happens if I get another one? Because, like...
That's what I was asking.
Yeah.
So, and then they were like, it's fine. So I went to urgent care. I go to urgent care. And... Because I was just like... I felt like I was like, do I need at least, like, one stitch? I go to urgent care. And I'm like, they're fixing my wound. And then I'm like, oh, and then I'm here to get a tetanus shot, basically. And then the guy's like, you don't need it. We're not going to give it to you. And I was like, well, I just talked to my doctor and they said I should get it. And I would just feel more comfortable. And he was like, really? Like, you shouldn't get it. And then I was like, well, I'm like begging. I'm like, please, can you just give it? Like, for my own peace of mind, can I have the tetanus shot? I was like, I don't trust that I self-admitted 4 years ago that I had tetanus.
Right. And I'm sure you have a few lying around.
Yeah, exactly. And then he finally was like, this is the thing. If you get it here, it will cost $100. So why don't I write you a thing? So then you have to go to Walgreens. So my whole next day, I'm like going to Walgreens, getting this shot.
And like, you need a tetanus shot within like 1 minute. Like, if
you need it in less than 48 hours.
Sure.
It's
yeah.
Scary.
Yeah.
I got it. I'm fine. My hand will never be the same.
Yeah.
It was a very treacherous thing. You were, of course, texting me. Literally, you have never texted me more than in like the 2 hours that like this had happened. And you were like, hey, are you okay? And then funnily enough, I wasn't. I was bleeding out.
It's crazy. I couldn't have needed you more.
Yeah.
I've never needed you except for those like 4 hours.
Yeah.
In that moment, we had received a new follower that we're not going to name drop them, but it was big for us. A former Miss Thing.
A former Miss Thing started following
Follow the pod. So, like, of course, I'm like, Tim, this is an emergency 911. It's like breaking through everything. I'm like, Tim, where are you? Why don't you care?
And I'm on the bathroom floor, like, fully passed out, like, foaming at the mouth as my sister laughs at me.
Sure.
And so I was, like, in the midst. But it was crazy.
And it was more important that I got in contact with you. Like, you could have died that night. And, like, this still would have been more important.
But that is always the thing with the pod. It's like anything big happens with the pod, it's like something crazy is happening. It's always
Of course, it's how the universe works.
Yeah. Anyways, I've been dealing with this supercut all week.
I'm so glad you're okay. Obviously, Tim, I know that his hand is absolutely mangled and he can't do anything. And I know that there was a cut, but I have not been allowed. This is also the problem with the podcast. I told everyone
this week, and then this is the problem with the podcast, because you were like, hey, are you okay? And I was like, no, something major happened, but I'm going to save it for when we record.
We've never communicated more in a way, and we've also never communicated less. And that's just sort of where we're at in our relationship. So again, Orna, I think you're going to want to hear what we have to say. So we are officially putting ourselves in the mix.
Yes. For season, whatever,
6, I think, of Couples Therapy. Please reach out. And also, Poo-Pourri.
Yes.
we will talk about it on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll talk about it on couples therapy. Yeah.
But I'm glad you're okay.
I'm okay. But I think it's time for a break.
Yeah. We'll be more okay on a break.
Exactly.
Welcome back. And it's time for Diva Down. Diva Down, of course, is our final segment where we take a person, place, or thing that is struggling at the moment and could really use our ornified advice. And that Diva Down this week is Masquerade.
Okay, so this crazy thing has been happening over on Broadway, which is
there is maybe off Broadway.
Okay, yeah, I bet it is off. We don't
Broadway
know.
Adjacent.
There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of questions with this, but
sure,
there is a new limited 6-week engagement of Phantom of the Opera, Andrew Lloyd Webber's Phantom of the Opera, that is like has a new take that's going to be way more experiential.
Yeah. It's like so much more than a show.
Exactly. Yeah. And so it's not just Phantom of the Opera, it's Masquerade.
Yeah. It's like you're living within the masquerade. You're participating.
At first, it sounded very exciting because it's like, like an updated take on Phantom of the Opera.
It will be Sleep No More, maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like there's a fun experience. And then they sort of sent out the rules if you want to attend this. And this is why it's our Diva Down. Because the rules are basically, not only, first off, like we all know Broadway is expensive. So the cheapest ticket is $195.
Yeah.
And then it's like you have to dress up.
Yeah.
Mandatory. You have to wear a mask. You are not allowed to.
That you're required probably to bring, or do they get? Or
no,
do they
you have to bring your own mask.
Okay, you're providing.
You're not
the
allowed.
mask.
Women are not allowed to wear high heels.
Oh.
And when you arrive, they will give you, the positive, I guess, is they will give you a champagne flute.
Of Tatige champagne.
Oh, yeah.
That's nice. So that is included in the price.
That's
okay,
included.
that's good.
So the reason
no food.
Just
one glass of champagne.
Diva Down. So people have been coming being like, this is ridiculous. This feels so like, okay, like let me just go to the show. Why do I need to have to do all of these guidelines just to come to this?
Right.
And my advice, I'm going right.
Sure.
To it. My advice is it's already hard enough to see Broadway plays.
Right.
It's already cost prohibitive.
Yeah.
Let us just I understand you don't you want to this is a sacred thing that we're seeing. But just let us be. And my advice is literally, I think if you're going to send out a guidelines, this is what they should be. Come in your pajamas. Bring a tiny pillow. Get comfortable. And maybe wear a sign that says, shh, don't talk to me. Because that's my dream experience. Those are my dream guidelines.
Totally.
I just want to, I'm on vocal rest. Please don't even try to socialize with me.
Okay, well, if you say you're on vocal rest, people at the theater will understand. That's a safe space for that.
Yeah.
But then, according to the rules, you will get kicked out. What are they going to do with, if the New York Times comes to review Masquerade?
Yeah.
Are they going to have to, pull together an outfit? That's just, gets in the way. It's can I just observe? Can there be box seats?
Yeah.
But I guess you have to think this show appeals to a very specific subset of people.
Yeah.
People who think somehow even that the Phantom of the Opera is good.
Yeah.
So you have to start there.
Well, maybe if you watch it through a mask.
It might be. It might be. Yeah. These are
people.
This
is starting to make sense now.
These are people that I would assume they really like Halloween.
Yeah.
They do a big party every year. They must really. You have to really want to be there. But again, my biggest issue is Andrew Lloyd Webber is still doing opulence.
Yeah.
These days, I thought we're reinventing his stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to meet the fashion energy of the people that are going to be in that room. I'd be thanking the staff for throwing me out of that show. But my feeling is like Andrew Lloyd Webber's cool again because of like the stripped back productions of his shows. So I'm thinking Masquerade before it even opens. Yeah. We need Jamie Lloyd to come in and do a stripped back version of Masquerade and just see like what that's gonna look like.
Yeah. And then the dress code would be everyone come in black boxers covered in slime or blood.
Yeah, I'm into that.
Yeah.
I would spend good money to go there seeing a bunch of men in their black boxers covered in whatever paint of their choice.
I mean, that's a Friday night to me.
I think that should be the dress code.
Yeah.
Black slip, no shoes.
Yes.
No problem.
Then you for sure are like getting tetanus when you step on whatever is on those floors. Yeah.
But of course, Masquerade, if you want to give us free tickets, we'll be
absolutely.
there. We'll go all out.
Yeah.
Honestly, we'll happily be there. We'll gladly review it.
Anyways.
And with that. Let's do our little spiel. Gennifertias, if you don't happen to follow the podcast on Instagram or TikTok, please do. We're at Miss Thing the Pod. If you don't follow us on YouTube, we do full video episodes there, and sometimes we do clips there. If you're not watching, you're only getting half the story. We also end every episode of this podcast in our boxers covered in paint.
Yes, exactly. So you got to see that.
And if you haven't, please leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcasts. 5 stars and above, like a nice message about what you like about the show. That's very helpful in helping us get noticed.
Or an amazing message about what you love about the show, or an even better message than that. Whatever creative way you want to praise Missing the Pod, have at it.
Just publicly.
Publicly.
Where it helps us get seen.
Exactly. And we want to take the moment here to publicly praise our ultimate Cynthia. Cynthia, we love you. And until next time. Bye.
Miss Thing Podcast is created, executive produced, and hosted by Greg Trimmer and Tim Zintek.
It's produced and edited by Benji Simons, with cover art and additional creative support by Claude Zines.
Follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Miss Thing the Pod.
New episodes drop every Tuesday. Watch on YouTube or listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Please subscribe, rate, and review, but only raves. Strictly 5 stars and above.
Follow Greg at Greg Trimmer and Tim at Tim_Zintek on all social media. BONK.